Well, hello there, it's Kriint and welcome to another speed build. So this week we are continuing the trend of stupid builds that they probably have no use to be in the game or for you to download them, but I'm having a blast building them, so I don't really care. This week we have a double build. On the left side of your screen you're seeing a bar, and on the right side it's a restaurant. They are both inspired, or I guess mirrored from, I don't know, however you want to call it, from Lego sets. It's weird, I know, who the hell builds something from Lego sets? Well, me. I saw them on Pinterest. I was scrolling through my board, like the section that's like things that you might like to add to your board, I'm not sure how it's called, and I saw that and I'm like, yes, please. And I pinned so many Lego sets. And the weird thing is, I never owned a Lego set in my life. For my parents, Lego sets were to boys. It wasn't for girls, so I wasn't ever had one of like a Lego set. It's weird, I know, like I love them, seeing them, and I'm a person who loves to like build things, so I think I would definitely enjoy them, but I never owned a Lego set. So seeing them, I was like, wow, I can't believe what you can make from Legos. Like, I was blown away. And these two builds were very like marine-like. They definitely fitted in this area of a map, obviously, because they are more sea and fish, I guess, themed. So I felt like they obviously match Brindleton Bay. And it's interesting because I was about to not build them, even though I really enjoyed the idea. Because to be completely honest with you, I haven't built in Brindleton Bay in years. When Cats and Dogs was released, I gave myself a task to completely rebuild the map. And I did that. And I was so happy with the final result, like you don't even know. The fact that I managed to stick with the task from start to finish and actually complete it, I was so excited. And since then, because, I don't know, whenever I build something, I'm like, okay, not in Brindleton Bay, we're done with that word. I've never built there. And it was so liberating to be able to build there. And I went around and toured my other builds that I built in Brindleton Bay, and compared to that, I'm like, they all suck. I was searching for pictures. I have an Instagram, a Simstagram, however you want to call it. And I like post, because it's fairly new, older builds of mine. And because like I don't build that much. And I want to have like a constant flow of content. And I was browsing older builds of mine. I'm like, nope, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. Wait. Were all my builds back like a year ago this bad? This is unreal. I thought I was like a fairly good builder. I was going around Brindleton Bay because I was so sure that I was going to love what I built there, because I haven't touched it. And I was going around the builds. I'm like, yes, I know that I loved that when I built it. I remember when I go there, I'm like, it's so bland. It's so boring. No. I'm like, how I was so confident of my building skills when they clearly sucked. So yeah, that was a very fun realization. But let's talk a bit about the build. So I told you that I built like 2 Lego sets, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Obviously they're both in the marine area, in the Bay Area, and I think they should be like fish related. So the Lego set, the particular Lego set that the restaurant is based on, was, I want to say, a museum. So I was kind of like on the fence, what am I gonna do with it? And I wasn't sure. And I decided, you know what, a restaurant is a good idea. Because like you can make it a fish restaurant. But I didn't want to make it like a fancy seafood restaurant. I wanted to make it more like casual and laid down. And like, you know, the people who own the restaurant go and fish every day and then they serve it here. It's not, you know, a 5-star restaurant. maybe at the best 1.5, 2 stars. I wanted it to be very laid back, so I searched like for inspiration on Google how the interior should look like, and I am so proud of how it turned out. Like, you go and like with your sim there and you will see it in the pictures, and I feel like it's so cozy, and I'm so happy with it. Like, you can see the vibe, and I can easily see that being a real thing. And it made me honestly so happy, like you don't even know. I had some trouble trying to make everything work perfectly. As you can see, I didn't manage to fit in the restaurant and bathroom, which I think it's kinda sad. I'm not gonna lie, like you don't go to a restaurant, you ask for the bathroom and you're like, oh sorry, we don't have one. But I couldn't fit one, so I was quite unhappy with that, but everything works perfectly, even though as you can see they are both small spaces and the entire lot is 20 by 15. So even having 2 buildings there, it was quite challenging to be able to make them cozy and everything to be routable. So yeah, and now we moved into the bar. So I was sure that I wanted a bar because every time that I build something, I've said that multiple times, every time that I build a lot, like that's a restaurant for example, I don't really like restaurants. I very rarely get my Sims to go to a restaurant because they spend so much time for the food to arrive, for them to eat, and I'm like, screw that, no. So I wanted something else, something that you could use while you're in a restaurant, or like that would work with a restaurant. For example, a museum. It would be useless. A gift shop, useless. A normal like retail shop, useless, because the Sims automatically aren't going to perform like the museum actions, like what a Sim would do in a museum, or like a karaoke bar. So if you have a restaurant and then you add a bar to that restaurant, it automatically adds a bartender. If it was, for example, a retail shop, and you decided that next door you want to have a bar, you would have to hire a bartender for the bar to be quote-unquote functional, unless you set the lot as a bar, but then the retail part wouldn't work. So I decided to go with a bar because the Sims automatically decide to go to the bar when it's a restaurant. And I was like, okay, cool, but I also want it to work as a bar. Like, for example, if you're like me and you don't really care about restaurants, but you like the aesthetic of the place, I wanted them to be useful as both bar and restaurant. Like, you can just change the lot type and it would work. So I wanted, again, the bar to have this nautical vibe, this marina vibe. Not fancy marina, but like the docks. And I had no idea how to make that and make it so it isn't the same thing as the restaurant next door, like, decorate wise. And I think I did it. I decided to add, so in bars, they usually have this stage, small stage, not every bar, where Sims, or I guess people in real life, can go play and perform. And I really wanted to add like the instruments, and I'm like, no, I really wanted a small stage. And then I found this set, which comes from City Living, and I didn't know that you can add these to bars, and I felt like it was the perfect addition, because Sims, I'm not sure if Sims will randomly can come there and like play music, but it kinda looks like a stage, and your Sim can actually go there and get tips, which I was like, yes, please. I was so happy with that. And also what I really wanted, because it's in the docks area and it's really filled with cats, this world, I really wanted it to be cat friendly. So essentially cats would put in, is it cat friendly or cat hangout? I'm not sure. So essentially cats would put in, which would make sense because like it's next to the fish, the restaurant serves fish, so it constantly smells like fish. So I was like, yes. And then I found out that in the lot types, in the lot traits, you cannot select like cat friendly or cat hangout, whichever one is it, for a restaurant, which makes perfect sense because it's not like healthy. So I was super bummed. I was like, damn it. And you can see like all around the place, I have like little trays like for food for cats. So yeah, This is it. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you have an amazing day, and take care. Bye!